In this unit, we will learn about the Byzantine Empire. In 330 CE, the Roman Emperor Constantine moved his capital from Rome, 800 miles east to Byzantium. This city was an old Greek trading colony. It became the New Rome. When Constantine first chose the old Greek city as the place for his new capital, he was aware of its advantages. The Roman Empire depended on trade, and the great centers of trade lay to the east. Byzantium was on the waterway between the Black and the Aegean Seas. Its harbor offered a safe haven for fishing boats, merchant ships, and warships. The city sat at the crossroads of the trading routes between Europe and Asia. Its location gave it control of the sea trade between Kiev and Rus and the Mediterranean Sea. One of the most important east-west land routes passed through the city, too. The location also favored the city's defense. The sea protected it on 3 sides, and a huge wall protected it on the 4th side. Later, a huge chain was even strung across the city's north harbor for greater protection. Invaders would not easily take the new capital, which was renamed Constantinople. It took more than 4 years to build Constantinople. Constantine modeled it after Rome. The city stood on 7 hills. Government buildings and palaces were designed in the Roman style. Streets were narrow and apartment houses crowded. Constantinople even had an oval arena like the Circus Maximus, where races and other events were held. The city's political and social life was patterned on that of Rome too. The emperor operated under Roman laws and ruled with the help of highly trained officials, who took charge of building roads, bridges, wells, and caravan shelters. The army followed Roman military customs. The poor people of Constantinople received free bread and enjoyed circuses and chariot races put on by the government. The wealthy people lived in town or on large farming estates. In fact, Constantine convinced many of the wealthy Romans to move to Constantinople by offering to build them palaces. The family was the center of social life for most Byzantines. The majority of them made their living through farming, herding, or working as laborers. There was, however, one important difference between Constantinople and Rome. From the beginning, Constantinople was a Christian city. It had been dedicated to God by Constantine, who viewed it as the center of great Christian empire. Church leaders were consulted about all important events of everyday life and had great influence over the people. For a young man of Constantinople, a career in the church was considered a very high goal. Constantinople had many Christian churches. Constantine saw to it that they were the most magnificent buildings in the city. Government and church leaders gathered relics or valued holy objects from the past from throughout the Christian world. These were placed in public monuments, palaces, and churches. The bodies of saints rested in beautiful shrines. Thousands of people came to these shrines to pray to God for cures for their ills. The city's Christian values could be seen in the way needy people were treated. The Byzantines believed that each Christian was responsible for the well-being of other Christians. Wealthy Byzantines formed organizations to care for the poor, the aged, and the blind. Even members of the emperor's household took great pride in founding and supporting good causes. About 600,000 people lived in Constantinople during Constantine's rule. There were Greeks, Turks, Italians, Slavs, Persians, Armenians, and Jews. They spoke Greek among themselves, but used Latin, the official language for government business. Most people became Christians, and all called themselves Romans. Byzantine nobles and rulers continued to boast of their ties to Rome for the next 1100 years.